Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Alan Presents, and if you're joining us for the first time, we welcome you to our family of viewers. If you are returning to view more content by us, we welcome you back to the channel. I am your host, Alan, and this is the other host, Leanne. And today we are covering a vintage WWF, not WWE, WWF event from 1991 at the request of one Nick Opalewski. I hope I said that correct. Nick messaged us on Messenger requesting that we do a rundown, like a reactions video for this event. We finally got around to it, and we have been extremely busy with work.
Finally found some time.
With work and family things and social events and other videos, and it's just been a bit chaotic the last couple of weeks. But we got there and we're through, and we've got this out there for you, Nick.
And I'm glad that we got the time because it was great.
Yeah. So we're going to be covering the Battle Royale at the Royal Albert Hall. How many times do you put Royale into a name of a pay-per-view or
I'm wondering, did they choose the venue because it was a Battle Royale event, or did they decide to do a Battle Royale because they had the venue? It's definitely one or the other.
I might have to do a quick research into that when you're chatting about this stuff.
Definitely one or the other.
This event took place on the 3rd of October in 1991. So you would have been all of like 6 months old.
Yeah. I was a baby.
A little tiny baby.
Baby.
Nothing's changed.
Rude.
And strangely enough, when I've seen this before, but I didn't remember a lot of it because it's been a while since I've seen it last. And one of the what do you remember what the sponsor was, Leanne, for this event?
The Daily Star.
The Daily Star. So for those of you who are not in the know and maybe aren't in Britain, the Daily Star is a newspaper, which is a daily newspaper.
It's one of the big ones.
Yeah, it's one of the tabloids, like the Sun.
I wouldn't say one of the most reputable papers.
Show me a reputable newspaper.
Yeah. It's not like lowbrow or anything, but it's kind of, I guess it's like the working man's newspaper, I suppose, back in that sort of time.
Yeah. Kind of. It was. I think it was that and the Sun were the two big ones at that point.
Yeah.
And the Sun is still going. I think the Daily Star's still going.
No idea. Who reads newspapers anymore?
Everything's online, but then you've got like their presence online as well.
Yeah.
So I think Daily Mirror and Daily Star were two of the. I think they were like a sister newspaper. I think maybe one ran on the weekends and one with the weekdays. I'm not entirely certain. I was quite young. Well, I say young. I would have been 8 at this point, but I don't really remember.
You're a bit young for
as a child. Yeah, you don't go, ooh, newspaper. Unless it's got some page 3 model on the front of it. You're like, huh. As an 8-year-old boy, you're like, oh, what's that? You kind of get drawn into that. But otherwise, you got, oh, this has happened in the Middle East. This has happened in Britain. And it's like, oh, okay, newspaper, boring. Because you're a child. You don't want to be.
So, an interesting choice of sponsor, considering how many kids are at these events.
Yeah, there was a lot of children at these events. At this event. Obviously, SummerSlam 92, which we've covered as well. We'll chuck a link in here somewhere if you haven't seen that. We did do another retro video for SummerSlam 92. So I'm just going to see if I can find anything about the Daily Star. So, Daily Star is a daily tabloid newspaper published from Monday to Saturday in the United Kingdom since the 2nd of November 1978.
Oh, it's old.
On the 15th of September 2002, a sister Sunday edition, Daily Star Sunday, was launched with a separate staff. On 31st of October 2009, the Daily Star published its 10,000th 10,000. Ah, that is a really awkward word to say. It published its 10,000th edition. I can't say it.
It's close enough.
My tongue just does not want to do it. It's still going strong. It says here circulation as of 2021 in September was 209,326.
That's a lot of papers.
That's a lot of papers. That's a lot of circulation. It was weird to see a newspaper sponsoring event.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So you get Snickers, or you get 2K sponsors and all the premium live events recently.
Yeah.
One thing I probably missed about, this isn't necessarily a pay-per-view.
Okay.
It was a British event, because they only came to Britain like maybe once or twice, they can do it, but once or twice a year, and there was only one show. But they recorded it, and they put it out because it was a special thing with the Royal Albert Hall.
So not a pay-per-view.
No.
Okay.
Just cool. I don't even know what to call it. It's just special, I guess.
Event.
Special
Yeah.
Do you remember who we had on commentary, Leanne? Who is the dream team on commentary?
I can't remember the names.
So we had Gorilla Monsoon
Yes.
and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yes. Is it Sir Bobby?
Yeah.
He's calling himself
Sir Robert Heenan.
Yeah. Which he did something similar in the SummerSlam. Yeah, he said he was the king
of England.
Yeah, King of England. So he got a promotion somewhere in between.
He went to see Her Majesty and he got a promotion, all that kind of lot. Yeah, so this is the part now where I'm going to throw it over to Leanne.
Yeah.
And she covers the matches and I kind of chip in and give a bit of insight as well.
With correcting me on stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to look into see if I can come around of how this name...
So, I mean, my first reaction is how strange the venue seems for this kind of event. Because Royal Albert Hall is a theatre, concert hall kind of venue. So it's got all your fancy theatre seats. It's got the royal box and things where the Queen would sit to watch shows.
No, I've been in the Albert Hall. It's a really nice building. It's very
really
posh.
Nice.
And you walk in and you do feel quite... Ooh.
Yeah, so you got your fans on the floor where they probably moved all the theatre seats, and then you've got the tiered seating like in a theatre with your gilded rails and things around. I'm sure kids are throwing stuff.
Oh yeah, they were absolutely were.
There was a lot of throwing.
They absolutely were, yeah.
An interesting venue to do it in, but that's what makes me wonder whether it was only in that venue because it was going to be a Royal Rumble, not Royal Rumble.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale, yeah, something else royal. So we start with the tag team attraction, which I was finding that funny as well, because they don't call it a tag team attraction now.
Yeah.
It's just a tag team match. So
the ring announcer was very... I think he might have been one of the Royal Albert Hall staff.
Right, okay.
Because I've never seen this guy outside of this event. And he didn't quite seem to know... How, he wouldn't just... Like you say, it's not a tag team attraction, it's a tag team bout.
Yeah,
or a tag team match. Yeah. It's not an attraction, no.
So I found that they used that term a few times. So this was the Nasty Boys, Knobs and Sags.
Yeah.
With Jimmy Hart, who makes a lot of appearances in the show.
Oh yeah.
Versus the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Shawn Michaels is looking ridiculously young here.
Yeah, he's so young.
Even though this is 10 months removed from before SummerSlam 92 when he's feuding with the model Martel, he still looks ridiculously young because his hair is still that bright blonde colour at this point.
Thick mullet.
Oh, that mullet, man.
So many mullets. I really liked this match. It was quite chaotic, I found.
Yeah.
But your classic light versus dark kind of setup.
Yeah.
So the Nasty Boys are in quite dark colours. There's splashes of colour because it's the early 90s. And then you've got the Rockers in bright rainbow colours.
Just a quick side note. I've actually found this apparently in regards to this event, there was a tape release that had its ordering screwed up by the strange UK catalogue system in terms of Silvervision releasing the videos. But then it goes on to say, it is a UK exclusive show from the historical Royal Albert Hall on 3rd of October 1991. Wrestling and boxing were both banned from the venue for a number of years until it was once again permitted in 2012.
They banned wrestling in the venue because of the
I don't know. And now I'm on a bit of a rabbit hole, so you carry on a sec.
Okay. You're going to check it out.
I'm going to see if I can find something about this.
So, this match, I very much enjoyed it. A great way to start the event. It really gets the crowd going. You got some great guys and chaos, which everyone loves. I found it quite interesting how much the ref was favouring the Rockers. It felt like there was a lot of false tags where one of them's in the ring and just claps while the ref's back is turned, and then they just swap casually.
And I think you said something about the referee allowing it, and again we harken back to obviously the event you've previously seen with SummerSlam 92 and Money Incorporated, and they'd be in the ring and the ref's back would be turned. All you hear is or you'd see Ted DiBiase or IRS doing that, and then they'd be in and out, and it's ref's kind of listening, and he's like, I heard a tag, that's fine. Yeah. So it kind of leads into that heel nature, because you wouldn't see the face team doing that.
No. Even though it feels like the Nasty Boys should have been the heel team, but
Nasty Boys were the heel team, yeah.
But then it's the face team doing it. I don't know.
I think, the Nasty Boys started off doing it. And I think the Rockers are well, if they can do it, so can we.
They did it multiple times.
I think the thing with the Rockers is they were seen as almost like...
like anti-hero.
Yeah, like a rebellion against the system because they're like rockers, you know.
Yeah. So we had some interference from Jimmy Hart. There's some ref distraction and the megaphone gets used because obviously Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South, has the megaphone with him all the time.
Yeah.
And ends up with the Nasty Boys winning the match. And there was from the commentary.
Bobby Heenan is such a heel.
I didn't write the whole context, but I got like the phrase. So they're sort of talking about someone being missing, like the London Bridge. And then the other guy says, the London Bridge isn't missing.
Yeah, Gorilla Monsoon says it's not missing, yeah.
Heenan just comes back with, well, it's not here, is it?
Yeah. I thought he meant in the aspect of, like, Jimmy Hart jumps up on the apron at the end of the match, and Shawn Michaels goes to confront him, and he throws the megaphone to, I believe it's Knobs, and he obviously hits Marty Jannetty, and that's what gets him the win.
Yeah.
But Bobby Heenan's like, oh, well, if Shawn Michaels hadn't gone to attack Jimmy Hart, the megaphone wouldn't have slipped out of his hand and hit Marty Jannetty in the back of the head. Like, it was a complete fluke that Jimmy Hart, scared, threw this megaphone, and it just happened to land on Marty Jannetty, and then it's like, what?
Yeah.
And then in the replay, he can't dispute it, and he's like, see, he's got scared, and he threw it, and then it falls into the hands of Knobs, and he kind of trails off, and it's like, that's just brilliant. It's brilliant heel commentary, though, by Bobby Heenan.
It is brilliant heel commentary. But yeah, London Bridge going missing.
Yeah, that was,
it's not here, is it?
No, well, it's...
Well, can't see it, so it's missing. I
can't see it here either, so it must be missing.
It's missing. It is not in attendance, I think you'd say. So yeah, that was a great opening match.
I did like the way the Nasty Boys playing the heels were pandering with the head games to the crowd as well. It's like anytime the Rockers would get a bit of a flourish, they'd be like, nope, roll outside the ring, and just be like, and kind of just slowing that pace back down again. And that's good tag team wrestling by the Nasty Boys, and they're an underrated team.
So we go to the back now, or I'm not sure if it's pre-recorded or in the back. It's probably pre-recorded.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
Mean Gene Okerlund, his first interview of many for the evening.
Woo!
With Ric Flair. And he's calling out Roddy Piper. So it's good. It's always good to see Mean Gene. And
what did I say specifically about this interview, which was like, wait a minute?
I can't remember. Oh, he had the belt. What was it? I can't remember.
So I dug up a little bit of information on this one because I couldn't remember the specifics of it. That is the World Heavyweight Championship title belt from World Championship Wrestling, WCW.
So you're saying he's the real world champion.
Yeah, he's kind of dubbed himself as the real world champion. So I took a bit of a snippet off a bit of information here. So WCW sued Ric Flair in an attempt to reclaim the championship belt, but Flair claimed otherwise due to a loophole in the NWA policy. So WCW was owned by the NWA at that time. A loophole in the NWA policy at the time of first becoming champion. The NWA required all of the wrestlers that is selected to be world champion to put down a security deposit of $25,000, which in effect resulted in the belt being leased to any wrestler who held it.
Oh.
The NWA, in usual cases, would return the deposit and any interest that may have accumulated upon the conclusion of the wrestler's championship reign. They did not do this for Ric Flair before he was terminated by WCW, his contract that is, and since the money was still owed to him by the NWA upon the signing with the WWF, Flair believed that the title belt had become his personal property to do with as he pleased.
I mean...
He stuck to the rules of the contract.
Yeah, if you didn't get the deposit back, then you owned the belt, right?
$25,000.
That's a lot of money. Especially back then.
Like, would that belt be even worth that much at that point? That's crazy.
That's insane.
You think about the title belts, which are really good replicas on the Euro shop and WWE these days. They're like £300, £400, whatever it is. Like the most expensive one I've seen was about $1,000, and that was like a special run.
Yeah.
I mean, I get this is probably like one of maybe only 5 that gets made at that time, but damn, dude, $25,000.
Yeah, I'd have kept it.
Insane.
All right, next match we've got Ric Flair versus Tito Santana. I mean, it's Ric Flair. It's being Ric Flair. Dirtiest player in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually written that he has rope magnets in his boots. The amount of times he was pinning Santana and his legs were like up on the ropes, not just the middle rope, on the top rope of all things. And then obviously the ref sees it because it's sometimes a good ref.
Well, I don't think he sees it, but he kind of looks and he's like, "Why is the rope shaking?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was that moment, wasn't it? It was he wouldn't look at Flair. He'd be looking around, like the ropes are moving. What's happening? It's you. It's quite comical.
Sounds like peekaboo for wrestling.
A little bit. There was a point where after the ref spotted this, Flair did push him, and the ref pushed him back, which you don't see much these days. Just like the ref getting involved and
used to happen a lot with the Hebners, but
the good old Hebners. So eventually Flair does win. It's quite funny actually, because Tito Santana rolls up Ric Flair, and then Ric Flair reverses it by rolling up Tito Santana. And quite often the wrestler will like grab the shorts to get the leverage, which they're not supposed to do. So Ric Flair does that, but I mean we get a full moon. It's like total butt.
Yeah. I suppose you get done for indecent exposure.
Right. Is in the main angle you could just see a little bit of butt crack, but then they did the replay with the
opposite angle.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just all butt. Those poor kids scarred for life. So I went home, told
some
their
kids
parents.
might have found their sexuality that night.
Mm-hmm.
Never know.
Imagine the kids who like went home and said, "Mum, I saw a man's butt today," and they're like, "Yeah, you're never going to a wrestling show again."
Yeah. Tito, I felt never really got the recognition he deserved.
Yeah, I don't know much about Tito.
Sort of after this, he did a gimmick called the El Matador, where everyone's got to have a job, pal. And they had him dress up as like a matador, like a bullfighter, and it was like, oh, this is a bit garish.
It's like, did he have like the red cape and everything?
It was like more of a pink colour. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Sort of between, I think it was between 83 and 90 or 91, he won the IC Championship twice. Yeah. The Continental title. And he was a tag team champion. I'm not sure who the tag team partner was, but he was a tag team champion at one point. He also won, before it became a big thing, before it was celebrated as like a yearly event, the King of the Ring in 1989. So he won that, but it wasn't like a big thing back then, so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because these days, the King of the Ring, it like leads into the storyline quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Stone Cold, obviously, hit the ground running on that. Triple H when he eventually won it. I mean, Triple H was supposed to win it the year that Austin won it.
Oh, right.
And Vince retconned it because of the what do they call it? The curtain call.
Yeah.
I mean, Xavier Woods is the current King of the Ring, so.
Yeah, although that's sort of fizzled out now after everything.
Yeah, too many injuries as well.
Yep. All right, we're going back to good old Mean Gene in the back, with Big Boss Man. He's calling out Earthquake because they have a match coming up next. Good old Mean Gene. So straight after this, then that's in the back, and we go to the entrance where Earthquake is entering with Jimmy Hart, and Mean Gene is there as well because Mean Gene's everywhere. So doing an interview with Earthquake before he goes in, and this is maybe my favourite bit. Favorite bit of the whole show. So I'm not even sure like what question was asked, but it's Earthquake's promo, I suppose. So he's just like reeling stuff off, and he says, "Do you know how long a boat ride is from the USA to the UK?" Pause. "It's very far. That's why we took a plane." Good old Earthquake. Like, why? Why did he even need to reference the boat?
I don't get that. I don't know.
It feels like he started speaking because we've said before that like the promos back then used to be just off the cuff. They didn't script anything, not like they do now. So they're just like saying things and saying it with confidence. And if you say something that doesn't quite make sense, you have to try and flip it in the moment so that it works. So it's like he started talking about boats, and then in his head he's just going, "We didn't take a boat. They know we didn't take a boat." So he has to somehow flip it into, "It's a long way, so we took a plane."
A lot of people flip it unless you're Psycho Sid, who at one of the SummerSlams, I can't remember, I think I mentioned this on the show previously, I think it was on the Summer 92 video, where he starts the promo off for Mean Gene, he drops an F-bomb and says, right, let's start again. And Mean Gene's like, yeah, we're live, pal.
Whoops. These things happen.
Yeah, like Scott Steiner when he made his debut in WWF.
Steiner math?
No. When he made his debut in WWF, and he comes in and he starts wrecking people, and he's like, give me a mic, give me a mic, give me a in mic now. And he's being so loud, and it's like,
whoops.
I think he probably got chewed out by Vince like that.
Probably. So this match, then, we've got Earthquake and Big Boss Man. And this is basically just two big men throwing big hands. And then Earthquake throwing Big Boss Man. They're both massive dudes. But Earthquake still has that... Sorry.
They're dudes.
But Earthquake has that size advantage.
What are you, 12?
I'm trying to use different ones from not saying...
What are you, 12 and from the 90s?
Maybe. I am from the 90s, but... throwing me off. Yeah, big men. Big hands. One bigger man throwing the other big man. I mean, it looked effortless, pretty much. Considering, I mean, I didn't say the word big a lot. Oh dear. But considering how big Big Boss Man is.
The big boss man.
The bigger man, Earthquake, just like, is chucking him around. And then that moment where Earthquake literally stands on Big Boss Man. Just 1 foot stepping onto the chest, then all the way it goes on, and then stepping off. That man must have been crushed.
That was rough.
It was.
I felt that.
Yeah, it did. So, at some point during this match, you have Big Boss Man gets the better of Earthquake, and also knocks Jimmy Hart off the ring apron. I think it was.
I think so. Yeah.
So he's down on the ground.
Or did he slide out and hit him? I can't remember. It was one of the two.
I can't remember.
No, it was one of the two.
But after this, the Mountie comes out, who's another Jimmy Hart man.
Yeah.
Comes out to Jimmy's aid. After checking on him, then he goes round and I think he pulls the legs out from under Big Boss Man, interfering in the match. Naughty Mountie. So that leads to... That was so bad.
That was really bad.
That leads to the
I'm not cutting it, it's
Earthquake
staying in.
pinning the Mountie for the win.
Wait, Earthquake pinned the Mountie?
No. Earthquake pinned Big Boss Man. They've gone off the rails. Everything is fine. Earthquake wins. It's alright. I like this match. It's good.
It's pretty good, yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah, fun times. Then, okay, we got a twofer of Mean Gene segment.
It was... Just a quick side, it was to this point then that I realised that out of the 3 matches that we've had thus far, all 3 of the heels have won.
That's true.
Let's see how long this goes.
Let's see. Keep a track. So, 2 Mean Gene segments in a row. I think they had an ad break in the middle probably, and the day starts.
It's like, yeah, it's like Christopher Walken. Needs more cowbell? Nope, needs more Mean Gene.
Everything needs more Mean Gene. So the first one, Mean Gene interviewing Kerry Von Erich, in the lead up to the Battle Royal later on.
As what?
The Texas Tornado.
Wait.
Oh, I remembered it.
Wait.
It's like I keep in my head it gets mixed up with Typhoon, but that's the other dude.
The Typhoon Tornado. No, that's not right. The Texas Typhoon. No, that's not right.
There's too many T's. So yeah, Texas Typhoon.
I pitied a fool.
Who's calling out the Mountie, who we've seen. We're just gone.
Mr. T's gonna start knocking on our door in a minute and be like, "What do you mean there's too much T's?"
There's only one T.
Tetley T.
And now we've got the Mountie.
Oh God.
Call out the Mountie because they're gonna have a
Okay,
match.
stop. We need to stop this now if it gets too far.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. And then Mean Gene interviews the Mountie with Jimmy Hart. No, I just said his name. In the lead up to the next match. She's
addicted to tea. She has a problem.
I do have a problem. But this is juice, so it's fine.
She's going to have a bigger problem in a minute. She carries on being a little so-and-so.
That's me.
So-and-so!
So we move on to the next match, which is the Mountie versus Texas Tornado. Mountie is accompanied by Jimmy Hart, as expected. Yeah, it's good. I haven't seen these guys wrestling before, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Don't think so. It was a fun match. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
So Mountie's obviously the heel in this one, and
Jimmy Hart kind of establishes that.
Lots of shenanigans.
And it's similar tactics to the Nasty Boys as well.
Mm.
So when Texas Tornado is sort of getting the upper hand and Mountie's hitting the back foot, he kind of rolls out the ring and he's like, on the outside, trying to rile up the crowd and trying to slow the pace down. And it kind of leads into that whole Jimmy Hart stable of him teaching the guys of what to do and how, and it kind of leads that
dirty tricks.
Yeah. But having the Nasty Boys and the Mountie doing it, it kind of leads into the whole cohesion of the unit as well. So
yeah, definitely. It's a proper team.
Yeah.
Yeah, where was I? So, what?
You'd stop with the tease.
I just said team! If I don't say any tease, we're going to have a problem.
This could be entertaining.
Her Mountie wins after pinning Von Erich with his feet on the ropes.
Is it Kerry Von Erich or is it the...
Exus Orneo. I can say D's. I'm not keeping that up for the rest of the video. It's not happening. No. Yeah, so it's good match. Enjoyed.
So one thing I mentioned when the match was starting off, and I was looking for it, and I didn't see any slowdown or any sort of favoritism on the foot. Kerry Von Erich only has one foot at this point, and he didn't show it. He still goes hard, and it was incredible.
Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed anything different.
I do have a bit of information in regards to that, which I'm just going to read out now. So, June 4th, 1986, Kerry Von Erich was in a motorcycle accident that nearly ended his life. He suffered a dislocated hip and a badly injured right leg. Doctors were unable to save the right foot, eventually amputating it. According to his brother Kevin Von Erich, Kerry Von Erich...
That's a lot of K's.
I know. Injured the foot following surgery by attempting to walk on it prematurely, thus forcing the doctors to amputate it. Do you think I can get through the rest of this sentence without saying any T's or K's? Probably not.
I don't think it'll be... I think it's too serious.
He continued wrestling. I'm trying to light the tone. He continued wrestling after the accident with a prosthesis and kept the amputation secret to the majority of fans and fellow wrestlers, even going to the extreme of showering with his boots on. His amputation was kept secret from the public until after his death. I think one of the... What I did sort of read in from my notes here was he was very, very, very close friends with Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
And he knew about it and he would feel comfortable taking the prosthesis off on Piper.
Yeah.
So Piper said, I think it was in his book, I think the quote came from, or the reference, he said that he would go around to Piper's hotel room and be so relaxed he would take the prosthesis off and just shoot the breeze with Piper all night, you know.
It must have been so hard to keep that just a secret, just the pressure on that. So being able to be open around at least one guy must have helped a lot.
It gets worse though.
Oh no.
It gets worse. After the amputation of his foot, Kerry became addicted to painkillers, followed by several drug problems. Among the many of them were 2 arrests, the first of which resulted in probation. One day after being indicted for the second charge, which would have resulted in extensive jail time, which was a violation of his probation, Kerry Von Erich died by suicide with a single gunshot to the heart with a .44 caliber pistol on February 18, 1993, on his father's ranch in Denton County, Texas, just 15 days after his 33rd birthday. So he's younger than what I am now when he killed himself.
Yeah.
And he's not far off your age.
Yeah, it's tragic.
If you do want to see more, and it's the Von Erich family is a fantastic wrestling family, and they've got a very rich history and a very... It is a good story. It's a tragic story as well. There is a documentary on the WWE Network or Peacock if you're in America. It's called The Triumph and Tragedy of the WCCW. That's World Class Championship Wrestling. I urge you to give it a watch. It's a good documentary. The more emotional view, i.e. Leanne, will probably cry watching it because it is quite hard hitting, but it's worth a watch. And now we go into the next match, Leanne.
Oh no.
Oh, they timed this badly.
Yeah, the next segment. Well, they didn't time it badly. It's just the timing hasn't worked out, so...
It didn't age well.
I'm going to try and do it sensitively. Okay, so the next segment. I'm just going to go into it. Just a clean break. Clean break there. Just moving on. Unrelated. The next segment is Paul Bearer with the Undertaker in the funeral parlour.
How could you be so insensitive, Leanne?
I'm just reading my notes. So they do a promo basically calling out Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who they have a match coming up next. And there's some like bits where I think he's talking about the other guys in the Battle Royale, saying that they're all in the graveyard and stuff like this. It was like, as you'd expect from Paul Bearer and Undertaker, very dark tones and
19 bodies. It's kind of was reminiscent of what we're watching on Netflix at the moment. So watching the I can't remember the exact name, it's about John Wayne Gacy.
I think it's like the
confession tapes or something like that.
It's on Netflix. Check it out if you're into
We'll go one episode left. It's good. Grim but good.
Yeah, grim. But
God's it grim.
Whew. So many grim stuff.
Let's taking a turn, isn't it?
Let's take me back to the teas.
Undertaker.
So the next match is the Undertaker versus...
Is that what you get when you fall and split legged on something? You get an Undertaker. Hey. Continue.
Undertaker versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh.
So Undertaker's accompanied by Paul Bearer. This was something special to watch, I feel like. I haven't seen much of Undertaker other than later matches and obviously
more recent
SummerSlam stuff.
Kamala, this was Kamala. Which he won by disqualification.
Funny you say that.
Yeah. He's the heel in that. He's the face in that match as well. He's the heel here. Yeah. He's the face in SummerSlam.
So, Hacksaw Jim Duggan carries around a 2x4 for some reason.
Yeah, I don't quite get that.
I guess.
Is he a lumberjack? Is he a carpenter? Is he
a hacksaw?
A hacksaw?
he just likes wood.
So of all the years he obviously wrestled, I think he still does some shows now and again. How many 2x4s has he gone through, do you think?
It must be a lot. I don't think he'd use the same one very often, would he?
Probably not, no. Like, imagine trying to get that through customs. Going on an airplane with a 2x4.
At least you can just go to a hardware store and buy a new one for pretty cheap.
But at that point, though, right, you've probably gone through thousands of them in his career.
Yeah.
How many splinters do you think he had?
He probably had very raw fingers. Like, sandpapery.
So do you think that, wasn't because of his gimmick? He was catching a splinter on the 2x4, and he's like, he's lifting it up, and it slips, and I'm okay.
I like that. Oh, very good. So, at some point, probably out of, I don't know, frustration or something, Jim Duggan does then use his 2x4. I think he does it quite often, doesn't he, using the 2x4? Or is it...
I've not seen a massive amount. It usually carries out. I'm not sure. I haven't seen a massive amount of matches.
Like if the character was in modern wrestling, he'd be using it every other match. But it just says more about modern wrestling than
Quick fact:
Jim Duggan.
Jim Duggan won the first Royal Rumble.
Oh, nice. Good for him. So he uses the 2x4, hits Undertaker, and results in a disqualification, meaning Undertaker wins.
It's another heel win.
Nice.
It's weird seeing Taker without any tattoos or just having the one tattoo. You missed that he got played to the ring by the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, I missed that bit. Yeah, they used the pipe organ that's in the Royal Albert Hall, so the built-in massive pipe organ. And yeah, the guy playing it had like makeup with the Phantom mask.
Yeah, they should have just used a mask, not the makeup of it.
Mask.
If he can play an organ, he's not going to be obstructed by a mask, is he?
No, it was a choice. I suppose people in the crowd wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. They probably wouldn't have been able to see him.
But then if they're putting this on tape or VHS at the time,
and they did
it would have
go quite close.
Yeah. Well, they were right in his face, yeah.
Yeah. It was quite cool, though, to just have that opportunity to use the pipe organ in the Royal Albert Hall for a wrestling show. I mean, when does that get to happen?
Not very often. And obviously seeing kayfabe Taker as well.
Yes.
Like the no-sell dead man.
It's so good. No, is that the walking the top rope as well? That was something special. I mean, these days when we've seen it more recently, it's obviously the tight ropes.
Yeah.
And he does a couple of steps in, and he's quite clearly being supported by the guy in the ring with the hand. But in this one, You got this really slack rope. So the top rope is like touching the middle rope. It's that slack. And he gets right into the middle. And he's obviously got the hand of the guy in the ring. But it looks like he's holding the guy in the ring, not the other way around. So it just has that effortless, smooth running kind of just Undertaker-ness. Undertaker-ness. I'm coining the phrase. So, yeah, I mean, it's something that I don't think we're going to get to see. We won't see anything to the ilk of that.
I don't think we will.
We got high flying guys, but Undertaker's something special, and I really enjoyed seeing him more early Taker, and just getting that experience. Good stuff. Did I miss anything else on that one?
Not that I can see now.
Yay! Let's go back to Mean Gene. We got a run of 3 now.
Today.
Oh, I might sneeze in a second, so apologies in advance. Mean Gene interviewing Roddy Piper.
What?
Roddy Piper.
Roddy Pauper? That's something very different.
So Roddy Piper.
This is not Oliver Twist. This is Battle Royal at the Royal Albert Hall.
Sorry.
It's got the word royal in it twice, Leanne. There's no Oliver Twist here.
But there is a Roddy Piper.
There we go.
And he's calling out Ric Flair, who they have a match coming up. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Goodness me. He's calling out Ric Flair in advance of the Battle Royal match.
Oh dear.
He's also calling out Bobby the Brain Heenan. Because throughout this event, Bobby keeps referencing that Roddy Piper's there, Roddy Piper's in the Battle Royal. And obviously he wears a kilt, Roddy Piper does, not Bobby Heenan.
Imagine Heenan in a kilt. Oh, wow.
And Heenan keeps saying he's wearing a skirt. I think at one point he said he wears a mini skirt.
Probably, it wouldn't surprise me.
So Piper's just saying, if you call it a skirt one more time, I'm going to come up there and punch your lights out, that kind of thing. So it's quite fun seeing the interaction between the wrestler and the announce team. Not the announce team, the commentary team, sorry.
Well, I think this leads a lot more from, like, Jimmy Hart's got his stable at the moment with, like, Natural Disasters, Nasty Boys and Mountie, whoever else is in there. There used to be one, the Heenan family. And Bobby the Brain Heenan was the brainchild behind it. And you had, like, Andre the Giant was in it. I think DiBiase might have been in there. So it kind of, I think it kind of spans a little bit from that. So Heenan used to be a lot more involved with the match and stuff.
So he's keeping that going.
I think so, but he's obviously doing commentary now, and the Heenan family's no longer a thing at this point.
Yeah.
But I think he just likes to keep that sort of a heel mannerism up.
Yeah, it's cool to keep the character going, because even though the faction isn't a thing anymore, he's still the character, right?
Yeah, he's the weasel.
So next we have Mean Gene interviewing Typhoon and Jimmy Hart.
Are we going to talk about any boats? Or planes? Or automobiles?
It's a very long way by boat. They went by plane instead. Dear me. So the question that Mean Gene asks is, what would happen in the Royal Rumble if... Battle Royal. It's the wrong Royal. Sorry. Oh, it's one of those days. So what would happen in the Battle Royale if Typhoon and Earthquake, who are obviously the tag team Natural Disasters, were the final two? And the answer Typhoon gives is along the lines of, it's none of your business, shut up, Mean Gene.
Pretty much, yeah.
Why are you asking this question? It doesn't,
much.
you know. So it's quite intriguing to think what would happen if they were the last two people.
I don't think they'll fought each other.
Because they're both similarly sized, big guys. So yeah, it could be interesting if that ever happened. So Typhoon and Jimmy Hart pop off and...
Do you want to use a different word than that, please?
Leave.
There we go.
And in come Power and Glory, which is Hercules and Paul Roma. And this is leading up to the next match. And they're calling out the Legion of Doom. Because they're going to fight. And then we get our third Mean Gene segment of this section. Which is Mean Gene interviewing the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. Who are, as expected, calling out Power and Glory, who they'll be fighting. And Hawk refers to them as sour and gory.
Oh dear.
Because by the time they're done with them, they'll be so ugly, their mother won't love them anymore. I think that was along the line.
Hawk came up with some brilliant stuff.
It was great. Just sour and gory.
I can't see any instances just on a quick thing of earthquake facing typhoon. So.
So then Mean poses the question.
Then Mean?
Mean.
Mean is his first name. That's what his mother called him. Popped him out, and she's like, "Oh, that was painful. That was Mean." That's his name.
Mean.
Wow.
Mean Gene poses the question: what would happen if Hawk and Animal were the last two in the Battle Royale? And the response to this is just, ooh, what a rush. And I know, it gave me chills, honestly. It's the first time I think that I've heard that being said by Hawk in context. I've heard many imitations and references and things, but hearing it in context, I know it was something special. It gave me chills, and just because it's that thought that what if it was those two at the end? That would be an incredible experience. And the thought that Hawk and Animal would think that as well, and they'd be relishing in the thought that it could be one versus the other, and how would they do it? I liked that.
There was a point later on where they did kind of not split, but there was a lot of tension, so I'm wondering if they did actually fight. Continue.
Okay, so then we go on to the match. This is for the WWF Tag Team Championship. We've got Power and Glory, not Sour and Gory, versus the Legion of Doom. Legion of Doom get a huge pop for this.
Yeah. One of the biggest of the night.
Definitely. You could tell right from the start of the event that they would. Because you had so many of the kids in the Legion of Doom shoulder pad things with the spikes, and they had the face paint on. They were there for Legion of Doom. It was an incredible match to watch. Considering Power and Glory aren't small guys, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Hercules is pretty big.
Yeah,
Paul Romer's probably the smallest guy in this match.
They're still muscular, and can't imagine he's small.
No.
But Legion of Doom just made it like effortless. But there's a great back and forth.
Yeah.
But just seeing, I don't know, it might be partly because I don't know much about Power and Glory, and I was there to watch Legion of Doom like all those kids were. So just, I was focused on them and how effortless they made it seem, just like lifting guys up that are big and...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so we've got, at one point, Paul Romer goes onto the top rope, I think, to do a crossbody on Animal.
Yeah.
And you could just see in Animal's face that he was doing some calculations.
Some Steiner math.
Yeah, Steiner math. And he just catches Paul Romer out of the air, straight into a power slam, and pins him for the win to retain the Tag Team Championship.
Yep. Yeah, that was great.
That was good. I really liked this match. It's a lot of fun. Next.
Yep.
Back to Mean Gene.
Whee.
Good old Mean. This time he's interviewing the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, in advance of the next match. So he's calling out the Barbarian. And to introduce this next match is Lord Alfred Hayes.
Whee.
The most posh man in wrestling. Although it's probably contentious, actually, calling him the poshest man in wrestling.
Yeah.
But, his voice is pretty good. He just introduces the guys with a bit more flair than the other ring announcer was doing,
Just doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Yeah.
Woo!
This next match is a one-on-one spectacle.
Big spectacle. Yeah, I mean, the pop for Bulldog, as expected, also big.
I still think we need to do another bigger one.
Yeah, probably. But, yeah, a lot of people...
Not to take anything away from British Bulldog, but...
No. It was a very good match. In this match, we had the only colour of the event, which is, for those who don't know the lingo, it's blood.
Lingo. That's a good word. That's a good word. I like
It's literally just the British Bulldog got a little tiny bit of blood on his nose, so not like a huge thing, but it was blood. It's fine. They referenced it in commentary.
Yeah,
it's something. Probably got people excited about it.
All those bloodthirsty children in the front row. Yeah, blood.
I don't know much about the Barbarian. He had this. I guess it's a caveman / Viking sort of gimmick with the.
So, I've not really seen much of him either. So I've got a little bit of a note here about it. So I watched SummerSlam 1988 recently. I listened to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard podcast, and they were doing a watch along, so I watched that with it. And it turns out that one of the tag teams at that point at SummerSlam 1988 was the Powers of Pain, which pretty much when they came out, I thought, that's the Legion of Doom. It wasn't. But they looked so much like them, and Barbarian was one of them. I don't know which one's which, but it was him and the Warlord with the Powers of Pain. Mm-hmm. They even went so far as doing the makeup to look like there was the Road Warriors makeup back in the sort of the is it NWO or WCW, whatever company they're in at that point, because it looks very different to what they have in WWF at this point for the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
They've even gone so far as doing the mohawk on one and the sides on the other, but one's black and one's like brown or red or something, and it's like. Okay.
Copyright infringement.
So it was like a obviously Demolition was the same. Like they had the face paint, the massive, the big guys crushing everyone. That was in relation to the Road Warriors, and that was WWF's answer to the Road Warriors. It's weird because he seemed to be on the up and up with the Warlord, but I think it was something along the lines of Fuji, who was managing the team, just sold a contract or something, and they split the team up in terms of kayfabe. So in 1990, when a singles run, and which is what we've got now, is this Viking-esque kind of gimmick. After this event, less than 6 months after this event, he left WWF and went to the WCW. Mm-hmm. Don't know what he did there. I've not seen any of that run, but he did return to WWF in 1994. But that was short-lived, and he went back to WCW by 95. So he kind of bounced around a bit. I believe he stayed with WCW until about 2000, maybe 2001, sort of the last days of WCW, maybe. After that, I'm not sure what he did. He probably went to independence, if not retired. So
it's a shame.
That's the Barbarian.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
I like the skulls that were like embedded in his fur cape thing. It's quite cool.
I think it's more of a cloak than a cape.
Yeah, it's a cloak. And Vikings don't wear capes.
No. Plus a cape wouldn't come on the front.
True. I'm sorry. I apologise to all cloak enthusiasts. So this match ends with Bulldog hitting a running power slam
Signature
on
move.
Barbarian, pinning him to win. I mean, a power slam on a big dude is I said dude again, sorry. A big guy. Is that better? I don't know. Doing a power slam's one thing, but a running power slam, when you've got a guy picking up someone who's probably close to their size,
if not bigger,
and then being able to run. I know it's like 2-3 steps, if that, but still.
So then you gotta launch yourself up and
powerful movement, holding someone bigger than you. It's good. It's great.
The surprising thing of this match was Barbarian was in control for most of it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Considering Bulldog's like up here on this pedestal.
Yeah, I guess it's partly like out of kayfabe, I suppose. It's the victory is so much sweeter if Bulldog overcomes a challenge.
So what you're saying is the British Bulldog is the underdog.
Woof woof. Moving on, if you're ready.
I think I'm done.
Oh no. Let's go back to Mean Gene.
Woof.
Underdog.
Dear God. Just.
Mean Gene with good old Jimmy Hart and the Nasty Boys.
Over half the roster.
Yes. So at this point, he's with the Nasty Boys. In the lead up for the Battle Royal. Nearly said Royal Rumble again. Oh dear, this is terrible. Yeah, they're just cutting a promo.
We try to put
everyone.
out quality content. Unfortunately, this is my co-host.
I learned from the best.
You didn't learn from me, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the Nasty Boys cutting a promo basically on everyone and Europe in general. I think definitely reference Hitler in there somewhere.
Yeah, some cat named Adolf. Caused some trouble.
It was Yeah, bit of an odd promo, but like we said...
They're the Nasty Boys, what do you expect?
They're cutting it on the fly, they've got to be heels, and what better heel move is there than bringing up Hitler in the early 90s?
Is that a heel move or a dick move?
Little bit in column A, little bit in column B.
What, 46 years after World War II at this point?
Yeah.
Give or take?
It's still fresh.
Oh, I'll be 91, yeah, 46, yeah.
Alright, then we move on to the Battle Royal.
Lord Alfred Hayes joins the commentary team.
Yes.
To add some class to the team.
Definitely. So I'm going to read out the list of guys who enter in the order they were announced into the ring. So we start with Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich. The Natural Disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon. Tito Santana, The Mountie. The Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. The Barbarian, Big Boss Man. Power and Glory, Hercules and Paul Roma. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Nasty Boys, Knobs and Sags. Ric Flair.
Woo!
Legion of Doom, Animal and Hawk.
Oh, what a rush.
British Bulldog. Undertaker. And Rowdy Roddy Piper. I feel like I should say Hacksaw Jim Duggan again just so you can do the sound effect. Thank you. So we got 20 guys. Only 2 of them haven't been in a match so far this event. And they're just gonna go for it.
Who are the 2?
The 2 are Rowdy Roddy Piper and Typhoon.
Yeah.
For some reason I feel really put on the spot just there. Was I gonna say anything else? I don't know. So, I mean, this is pretty much chaos to start with.
Yeah, as you expect.
20 big guys all in the ring at the same time is going to be chaos. I did find it quite funny because they sort of, when the match starts, the bell rings, they all sort of pair off or group up to have their little brawls. And it was, I think, Earthquake.
Yeah.
Who just sort of seemed like he was on his own.
Oh, someone come and fight me,
just
please.
wandering slowly through, trying to find someone. It was quite funny. But I guess you can't plan it all. And there were other moments where someone would hit someone and then just turn around and wander off.
It's the nature of Battle Royale.
Yep. It was chaos and it was fun.
Who did you predict to win?
I predicted Rowdy Roddy Piper to win. I thought because he hadn't been in the match and he entered last, I thought it was a good pick.
I mean, it's not like the Royal Rumble where you get an advantage for entering last.
No, but like that pop kind of stuff, you know. So yeah, it was great. We had it was the Royal Rumble. So they didn't say that you had to have both feet hitting the floor to be eliminated because you go over the top rope. They just said contact with the floor. I think. I wasn't sure if that now they've refined the rules so that now you have to hit the floor with both feet, or if they've just gotten better, I guess, refined how they explain the rules.
I'm wondering if the early Royal Rumbles didn't do both feet or not.
Maybe. But there weren't any eliminations that I saw where it didn't look like both feet hit the floor. But that's partly because if any part of them hits the floor, then they're just going to walk off. Maybe. So then their feet will. I don't know. There were a couple of, I guess the elimination that you pointed out was Hawk, I believe.
Yeah, it looked like he might have gone out earlier than expected, because he looked really annoyed.
Yeah, but I guess it's hard to tell if that's annoyed because it wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah.
Or if he's
it's kayfabe, isn't it?
Kayfabe. But that's the beauty of it. Not knowing, you can more easily assume that it's real, right?
Yeah.
Which makes it more fun. Ooh, I've done something to my notes. Don't worry about it.
Uh-oh. Here we go again.
So, I sort of, because it's quite hard to keep track, and I didn't want to write like all the eliminations because we'd have been there forever. We'd be here forever. So I've skipped over to the last 4.
The only elimination that was really sort of mentioned, especially with the commentary team, is Piper eliminating Flair.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Because they were building up, obviously, Piper versus Flair, because Flair was taunting Piper and Piper wanted him. This did lead into a Survivor Series match about a month and a half later with Team Piper versus Team Flair Survivor Series. So
I was very excited by that elimination because obviously Piper was my pick. But unfortunately, he didn't make the top 4.
Who was in the top 4?
We had Typhoon,
Yep.
Mountie,
Yep.
Big Boss Man, and Bulldog.
And how many of those were Jimmy Hart's guys?
2.
That's 50%.
50%. So, as expected, Typhoon and Mountie are teaming up. They do manage to eliminate Big Boss Man. Yep. So then it's
66% of Jimmy's team is in the ring.
Maths. Yeah.
It's not starting math.
It makes sense. So yeah, we've got those two, and obviously ganging up on Bulldog. Where was I going with that? Yeah, Bulldog sort of has that agility though, so he's sort of ducking and weaving and
Well, he did take that nasty double clothesline, which was painful.
He did. Ooh. So it was a double slingshot.
It's an Irish whip into the ropes.
I'm sure they said double slingshot.
I don't know if it's called classed as a slingshot.
Yeah. Okay, they did a double Irish whip into the ropes.
So it was when you throw your opponent to the opposite end of the ring.
Okay. And then they got him with a double clothesline.
Ropes, yeah.
On the way back, which was cool. Well, not cool, because British Bulldog was my next pick. It looked painful.
With his little mullet braid.
Braided mullets. Yeah, there were a couple of occasions where Mountie was holding Bulldog so that Typhoon could hit him or slam into him, etc. But Bulldog ducks out of the way, so Mountie gets hit instead. And one of those times, Mountie accidentally gets eliminated by Typhoon.
Back to 50%.
Back to 50%. Alan math. But with more of these agile reactions, I suppose, when Typhoon is running at Bulldog at one point, he pulls the rope down, Typhoon goes over and is eliminated.
Yeah.
So British Bulldog wins.
Yep.
Yay! Wasn't my pick, but second pick, because someone British had to win it, right? I know Rowdy Roddy Piper isn't British, but he has Scottish heritage.
Yeah.
And he wears a kilt, so he counts.
He wears a kilt, he counts.
He counts. He plays bagpipes. It's fine. Obviously, the Natural Disasters aren't very happy with this result, and Jimmy Hart isn't either, presumably, because someone in his team should have won.
Like 20%, 25% of that match was Jimmy's guys.
The odds were in his favour, but it didn't work.
Clearly not.
So, Natural Disasters, back in the ring, attacking Bulldog, just laying into him with fists and all sorts, going at him. And who comes out to his rescue?
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant! Which is very cool. So they do say he's coming out fresh off knee surgery.
Yes. I did see a note somewhere earlier. Keep going.
He's got a crutch that he's walking down. But even limping with a crutch, this man is an intimidating
7'2", yeah. He's like, hi. I think he's 7'3", Andre.
Towering over the Natural Disasters.
Oh, this is 7'4".
Ooh, he's a big man. So yeah, he basically sees them off, like hitting them with his crutch and everything.
He did get both of them and slams their heads together first.
With his massive hands, just like a whole head in each hand. Crazy.
There's one of the sort of famous interviews they did on like one of the wrestling shows is he puts his face over, I think it's Mean Gene, his hands over his face, and you can't see Mean Gene's face at all. It's just like, Jesus.
Monster of a man.
So one of the notes here on this page, this event, as in Battle Royal at the Royal Albert Hall, is significant for featuring one of Andre the Giant's last live wrestling appearances and the last on videotape or DVD before his death in January 1993. Yeah. So this is the last recorded appearance of Andre. Obviously, it would have been videotape at the time. DVDs weren't a thing back in those days. So.
Yeah, that really is something special. So he shakes Roddy Piper's hand.
Nope.
No?
Shakes Bulldog's hand.
That's my wishful thinking for Piper winning again. Shakes Bulldog's hand so he can celebrate his win, and off he goes to the back. Yeah, it was nice. A nice way to finish.
Yeah.
You didn't need him like interfering in the match. He's just there to defend the face. So was that the only face win? That wasn't the only face
No,
win,
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom was face.
Cool. Oh, and Barbarian versus Bulldog.
Yeah, so we had
so the last 3 matches were good guy wins, and all the previous were bad guy wins.
What a way to get the crowd to go home happy. This is good stuff.
So top match of the event. Or are you going to go on something on a tangent?
I was going to just give sort of some general thoughts that I had about the whole event.
Okay, do that first then. Yeah,
so it's sort of we've talked before, like in the SummerSlam video, of how wrestling
That's SummerSlam 92.
Sorry.
No, because there's been a couple of SummerSlam videos. So.
Wrestling in this era, with kayfabe and everything, you had that realism. The way they took hits as well might not have been safe a lot of the time.
Possibly.
But it really felt real. But then at the same time, you had these really cartoony characters and over-the-top stuff. And just, it was for kids. But it was real. And it looked like people were hurting each other. But it's for kids. And they loved it. And it just really stood out how you've got all this happening. And there's just, the crowd is full of children.
Yeah. There's a lot of kids.
So many children. I know we talked before about how the WWF universe has grown up with the product and it's sort of developed with them. So all of that change.
I think I was doing that SummerSlam too.
Yeah, I think so. Because there were a lot of kids there too. And the other thing I put down was how like it's so unusual now for wrestlers to be in a match and then also the Battle Royale or Royal Rumble sort of thing. It's like occasionally it'll happen and it'll be a bit of a spectacle. But in this, you've got like all of them apart from the 2. So I guess it's partly the roster was smaller. We've talked before about how there were a lot of jobbers, not jobbers, the actual enhancement talent. Rather than the big names are kept for the big events. So there's not as many of them. And also, I guess, like, because this wasn't a pay-per-view, they wouldn't have had as much money to fly more people out.
Maybe, perhaps. Maybe. I'm not sure what the capacity of the Albert Hall is, actually.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Those are sort of things that have changed over time. So you were asking about my favourite match.
Yeah. Just as a quick sound, seating capacity. Obviously, they're going to be slower than this because of the ring. 5,272. So you take out those floor seats to put the ring in, that's probably going to go 4.5.
Yeah.
4,500.
That's a fairly small crowd, really.
Considering we went to Clash of the Castle, there was 62,000.
Things have changed. Money has changed. Favourite match was Power and Glory versus Legion of Doom.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yes. I need to see more Legion of Doom, I think.
Okay, so you're stepping on my next question.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to spin this around now.
Oh, no.
Of all the people you've seen here, you've not really seen much of any of them.
No.
Top 3, who do you want to see more of?
Legion of Doom?
Yeah.
Do they count as 2?
No.
Oh. Undertaker.
Be glad I didn't push it to top 5.
Like early Undertaker, I suppose. Or earlier than I've seen. And Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't seen much of Roddy Piper at all.
No.
I saw him in, there was that sort of reality show.
A Legends House.
The Legends House, which was so good. But that's sort of like the first time
Mean was in that as well.
Yeah, Mean. And Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
That was a really fun show.
Howard Finkel there, Pat Patterson. Oh, Hacksaw was there.
Yeah, all those names. It was great. That was a good show. Lots of drama. So that
Yeah, cool.
Good.
Awesome.
Anything else?
No.
Ooh, covered it all. Good job.
Take us away, Leanne.
Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you guys. Obviously, this video came from a request from a viewer. So
from Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Think Nick's in America. I'm not 100% certain.
Good. Viewers everywhere.
That's what I mean. We're in Britain and we get American viewers. That's fantastic.
I'm excited. Saying that, if there's vintage wrestling that you would like us to watch and do a reactions video for, let us know in the comments. Let us know on social media.
Hasn't got to be WWE or WWF. It could be WCW, ECW. We could probably dig up some New Japan stuff if it comes to it. AWA's on the network. I think they've got WCCW stuff on the network. Yeah. Just let us know what you want to see.
Yeah. We've mentioned before how busy our lives are at the moment, so we might not be able to get to.
Starting to quieten down a little bit.
Don't say it. Don't jinx it. So we might not be able to get to requests like straight away, but we will do them and we will get them out there.
I'm touching wood.
Touch wood. This table's wood.
I know, but
yeah, we will do. We listen to you guys. So do have that conversation. We reply to all the comments that we get. So yeah, let us know.
Unless they're from bots, then we don't bother.
Yeah, then we delete them. So don't be a bot, I guess. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Leave us a comment. Were you at the event?
Ooh, maybe. Yeah, get in touch with us.
It's in the time period.
Let us know what it was like being there in the Albert Hall.
Yes. Follow us on socials. Our Linktree link is in the video description below. And until next time, remember, it's a long way by boat, so might as well take a plane instead. Bye.